Today I'm going to show you how to do a DIY fog chiller. Going to give us that low creeping fog for our Halloween display. I'm going to put it over here in the cornfield, see how it looks. Let's check out our materials here. So first up, we got our PVC pipe. I'm going with a 3-inch PVC pipe here. I got a 10-foot section, probably overkill, but I've got a couple of ideas on how I'm going to use all of this. This is what I'm going to use it for my box here. Plastic tote from Home Depot. You can use a cooler, styrofoam cooler or whatever. I like these because the lids snap on nice and tight, and it's got good capacity here to hold a bunch of ice and or frozen water bottles. I got some corrugated drainage tube, which I think I'm going to try to use as kind of like a way to snake the hose around so that I can have my outlet come out in different places. Probably hide this behind a fence or another decoration, and then have the corrugated tubing go where I want the fog to go. A couple 90-degree elbows. I got a hand saw for cutting the PVC. I got some 1x1 expandable weather stripping. This is going to go around the top of our box here to seal it, to keep the fog from oozing out of the top. I got some silicone quick seal to go around our PVC, so again, to prevent leakage. And you're going to need a hole saw bit. I initially got a 3-inch bit. Using a 3-inch PVC, you're going to need a 3.5-inch hole saw, which I got from Amazon. That's better. That should give us the holes that we need for the PVC to slide through. All right, step one is to drill the holes. So I did about 3 inches from the bottom. Did one on either side here. I'm going to cut 3 pieces. I want one piece going in. I want one straight piece going in. It's going to attach to our elbow here. And one small piece coming up. It's going to be like our chimney. See, I got one here. This is my first inlet. The idea of the chimney, the fog comes in, goes up, it bounces off of the roof of the box, and then gets circulated all throughout. And then we're going to have one outlet on the other side. My first piece was about 8 inches. This next one's going to be shorter. I'm going to do 5. I think we only have to do 3 of these. So here's our structure right here. You see I got my 3 pieces of cut PVC. I ended up using a smaller 5-inch piece on the inlet because I was finding that it was bending and changing the angle there. So I went with a shorter piece there. Got my small chimney, and then here's our outlet. Went with the 7-inch piece on my outlet. Now I'm going to go around. I'm going to seal these up with the silicone around the outside. All right, there we go. It's not super pretty, but I'll probably end up painting this all black, but I got my sealant around there anyway. Hopefully that prevents our leaks. Now we're gonna do our sealant along the top. 13 feet in this package, this should be plenty. All right, there we go. That should be good. Let's see if we put this on there. Hope I can still close it. Just like that. Nice. So that should seal up. You can always put some bungee cords around it as well to hold that lid on there tight, but that should be all right. One of the last things I want to do is I got this pumpkin from Home Depot. My thought was I'm going to drill a hole in the back of the pumpkin, and then I'm going to put the hose in the back of the pumpkin and see if I can get the fog to come out its mouth. That way I can kind of hide it in a pumpkin patch here, and it'll just have the fog coming out of the face of the pumpkin, which should be pretty cool. Just like that. And I kept the LED in it so I can have the light coming out the front if I want it. Excuse my woeful underpreparedness here. This is all I got for water bottles. My goal was to get a 12-pack of water bottles, big ones, and put them in here for my chiller. But that's all I got. All I had some ice packs and some shakers and a single water bottle, frozen. We're gonna give it a shot and see how this works. One thing you can also do, you can put a grate or a platform on the bottom to elevate these so that the fog has passed all around and underneath as well. I'll experiment with some of that, but we'll give this a try, see how it does. So I got some leakage coming out of the box. I'm gonna have to address that. But our fog, it's coming out okay. Oh, there we go. It's kind of There it goes, there it goes. Look at it, it's working. All right, went to the store, grabbed a couple ice bags. This thing can hold a lot of ice. Imagine we'll be able to get this thing pretty cold. Also hooked up my corrugated tubing going out to the pumpkin. Let's give this another shot. All right, well, we're learning. So I found out that corrugated tubing is vented and it's going to spread everywhere. This may or may not be a bad thing. That looks pretty cool. Experimenting with the corrugated tubing now. Look at this, it kind of can set it all around and it will fill this whole place and kind of ooze out. This might be it right here. All right, it's dark out. Let's give this a try now. Ooh, there we go. There we go. Look at that. That's it right there. It worked. That looks super creepy. That tubing doing a great job evenly distributing it through the lawn. Get that nice dense low hanging fog there. Oh, that looked so good. That perforated piping's working perfectly. I plugged in the pumpkin lights now. Check this out. Hides the end of the tube really well. Kind of lose the light of the pumpkin, but I see it coming out of its eyes and mouth. So I dig the pumpkin on the end of the pipe, but I feel like it kind of blocks the flow coming out of the end there, which may or may not be a bad thing. So I might keep the pumpkin face on there or not. It does look really cool. Blends in there really well, and I still got good fog. I'm even getting it all the way across the whole driveway. Look at it, it's covering the whole yard and everything. It's cool out here, so it's staying nice and low. We had a good break in the wind. This is fantastic. I would call this a success for sure. Very cool. So I'm really pleased with the corrugated piping. This was a great addition to this setup. The way that the fog comes out of these perforated sections of the pipe worked great. The box itself, so key takeaway with the box, fill it full of ice. I didn't have enough ice, so I would get a lot of water bottles, really fill that thing up, get that thing super cool. Also, pre-chill it. I think what really helped this was getting the box nice and cold and then starting the fog machine. After it got cold, it really worked really well. So more ice, let it pre-chill, then fire it up. For that reason too, I would probably use something more insulated rather than this container. Probably get a igloo cooler or something like that, a cheap cooler, and use that so that you can hold that cold air in there. And then some sort of bungee cord or maybe a tie down around this to better secure it to keep it from leaking. But otherwise this thing worked great, super happy with the result. I'm excited to fine tune it for Halloween, but I hope this helped you guys out if you're looking for a cheap way to do a DIY fog chiller. This cost me less than $100 for all the materials. I'll put the list in the description down below so you guys can check it out if you want to build one for yourself. And let me know in the comments if you have any other tips or feedback on how to make this better or make your own version of this. And as always, we appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. We'll see you in the next video.